Hello everyone and welcome to Photo Finds. I'm your host Gavin Hatch. Now it is the first episode of the month, so that means we're going to do a Timehop episode where we look back at 2012, 13, 14, and 15 of what was going on this week and those years on Photo Finds. So let's go ahead and start off in 2012. It was this week that Universal Orlando introduced the ride reservation system, or is what they call U-Bots, which is kind of like a fast pass system, except you actually have a handheld device and you go ahead and you select a ride that you want to go to at a certain time. You can only reserve one ride at a time though. When you arrive at that attraction when it's time to ride, they tap it. The team member has one as well. They tap it and then you're able to go ahead and go through the express queue when you arrive at your designated time. And then as you're walking through the queue, that's a perfect time to go ahead and make a reservation for another attraction. And then you just do other things in the park while you're waiting for your time to come around. So it's very similar to the old fast pass system, and it's still being used in the parks. You can purchase it for one park of your choice, either Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios. It is usually a lot less, so usually half the price of what you'd pay for the express passes in the park, but the express passes do let you just go ahead and use it anytime you want and as much as you want if you get the unlimited option. So the ride reservation system is something that's still being used in the park today. It's not advertised as much as the express passes, but it is still an economical option if you're looking to go ahead and skip a line some way, somehow, during those busy times at Universal. Now, as you can see here, the prices back in 2012 were less than what you paid today. That is for sure. And it was actually this week back in 2012 that they did raise the prices at Universal first. They were the first ones to do it, and then Disney followed behind, and then SeaWorld. Usually it is Disney that goes ahead and changes their prices and brings it up, and then the other parks follow behind. So they're always going to keep going up as these parks expand, and there's a lot of stuff going on in the parks. There's a lot of things in the pipeline, new attractions, new theme parks, new water parks being built. So of course these prices are going to go up because you are getting a lot more for your money. For those of you that were fans of the Snow White Scary Adventures attraction and Fantasyland, that closed actually this week back in 2012. The final guest to be able to ride that attraction was a 18-year-old autistic gentleman who started riding that attraction when he was 8 years old and rode it a lot and was a big fan of Snow White. So he got to ride it with Snow White herself during the day and then was the last guest to ride it at night before they closed it down one final time. Now this attraction closed and was replaced by the Princess Fairy Tale Hall, which is where you can meet Anna and Elsa as well as the other Disney princesses all throughout the day, every day of the year. Now, one of my favorite resorts at Disney World and my favorite value resort at Walt Disney World Resort is the Art of Animation Resort, and that did open up this week in 2012. It's hard to believe, and it's such a big resort, and I love the food there. The food that they serve and in their food court is really good, as well as their pools. They have a great selection of differently themed pools. You have Mermaid, you have Nemo, and you also have Cars, and I love the original Cars movie. So that is a really neat resort. If you ever are looking to save some money and you are traveling with a larger family, they do have those great family suites, so I would highly recommend checking out the Art of Animation Resort if you have not stayed there already. Now, it was this time in 2012 that Brave was hitting theaters, and they were advertising it throughout the parks and promoting that, and it was a great movie. And over in Epcot, between Future World and World Showcase, they had a setup of different activities and games for kids and adults to partake in that were all themed around the Brave movie. And they even had that giant sand sculpture, which recently the Jungle Book had one over in Animal Kingdom. I showed you guys that on a previous episode, but they did have one just like that for Brave inside Epcot. Over on International Drive at Wet n Wild Water Park, they opened up Blastaway Beach, which is a really cool area for kids to hang out in and just play around. It's just like a huge playground equipment that is just got water spouts and buckets of water, and they can get soaking wet and just have a lot of fun playing in there. So that's a really neat area, and that opened up over in the front of the park on Wet n Wild. Of course, Wet n Wild is closing though, unfortunately, at the end of the year, but being replaced essentially over at Universal Orlando with the Volcano Bay Water Theme Park, which I cannot wait for that to open up in the summer of next year. Okay, so let's hop over to 2013. 2013 saw the opening of the Transformers attraction, Transformers 3D The Ride, at Universal Studios Florida. It had already been open in Hollywood, and so they built it over here. They built it very fast. That was one of the fastest construction projects Universal Orlando had ever done, and it's insane. It started from the ground, and they built that sucker up really quick, and it opened up, or was in technical rehearsals, I should say, the first week of June in 2013. So it was very popular. It's still very popular. It is my favorite attraction in Universal Studios Florida, but not my favorite ride ever. But it is a really fun ride. Now, in the back of the park, they had construction walls up because they were building the second half of the Springfield area themed to the Simpsons show characters. So it was that part they were building the Duff Beer Garden. They had the Lard Lad Donuts that was still under construction, as well as the Bumblebee Man's taco truck. So those things had not been built. Those were the last things to go into that area. Actually, I believe the Twirl and Hurl was the last thing. But they already had the Krusty Burger and Fast Food Boulevard restaurant open up. So guests could already be in there dining and enjoying the amazing food that they serve there. For fast food, that's really good food, I will say that. I enjoyed it a lot when it first opened up. And the attraction of the Simpsons ride had already been there. That opened up years before, but they just added on that Springfield area. So back in 2013, this week, they were still constructing and had those construction walls up. Not a whole lot was going on the first week of June in 2014. Twirl and Hurl over in the Simpsons area, that had opened up, or was about to open up. And then also the construction walls over in Diagon Alley, or the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Diagon Alley, that came down. So those construction walls were taken down in front of the London facade, but guests were not allowed into the London area. They had to simply just walk by. Of course, they were taking lots of pictures, but that was not opening up till later on in the summer. But those construction walls did come down that first week of June, and so guests were able to enjoy and take a look at London. Now, the first week of June in 2015, so just last year, it was this week that they announced that the NBA City restaurant was going to be closing down and being replaced by something else, something new, something exciting. And it is pretty exciting. It's going to be that Twosome Chocolate Emporium, a whole new restaurant that is going to be themed to like turn of the century steampunk, chocolate concoctions, all kinds of great entrees, and also special desserts and milkshakes. So that is going to be coming up very soon. Before we know it, it'll be here. But yes, I don't miss NBA City Restaurant at all. I actually don't think I think I went in there once. I never ate there, but I just did not really like it in being in City Walk. So I am glad it's gone, and I'm excited for its replacement. Inside Universal Studios Florida, they were advertising the Minions movie, which was coming out that month, and they had a little kind of like a show unit come out with the dancers, the Minion Recruiters as they're called, and they had the opening float of the Superstar Parade redone, and they put the Minions logo on there for the movie, and they brought that out throughout the day, throughout the park, and had different songs playing and dancers dancing with guests. I can't believe it's already been a year, but the Raptor Encounter in Jurassic Park at Islands of Adventure has been open just for a year now, and it is something that if you have not done yet, make sure you do it on your next visit, because yes, it's just a meet and greet, but it is terrifying when you get up there and you have to take your photo with that raptor. It's so lifelike, it's so loud and intimidating. It's made for some very funny pictures of me with that raptor, because I always chicken out and almost drop to the floor anytime I'm up there next to that raptor. There's lots of videos of it on YouTube, so I would recommend checking those out because it will give you a good laugh. They get some good scares there, that's for sure. I might even pop up, you never know. But it is a really cool thing if you've not done it yet. Alright, so a year ago today I was in Universal Studios Florida taking pictures of the 25th anniversary celebration things that they were putting all around the park, because the whole resort was celebrating the 25th anniversary of that resort, and today it's now 26 years old. So June 7th, 1990, that park opened up. Universal Studios Florida, I should say, opened up. And if you were there on opening day, comment below, tell me what it was like, tell me what your favorite part about that experience was, tell me what rides were not working, because we know it was kind of a mess when it first opened up, just like most of the theme parks here in Florida. But I can't believe she's 26 today. June 7th, 2016, she turned 26, so she looks great for her age. I love that park. It's my favorite park, and I'm so glad that it's still here, it's still open, it's still running and growing and improving, that's for sure. So happy birthday, Universal Orlando. Well, that will do it for this week's episode of Photo Finds. I hope all of you enjoyed a little time hop looking back at 2012, 13, 14, and 15 of what was going on in the parks that time. And if you have not subscribed to Attractions Magazine yet, make sure you do so. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment below if you're watching it on YouTube. And as always, make sure you get out, have fun, and enjoy the parks.